So hi everyone. This week I thought we'd do something a little different. I think anyone at Appliance Park knows we have a goose problem. And it was last year we brought Vince in here. So Vince, we're grateful to have you at Appliance Park, but I think a lot of people have seen how you work these dogs. So why don't you give a little background about what you do and why it's effective?
I came from a wildlife industry aspect, and we always had a struggle with coming up with a 100% solution for a goose control issue. So we struggled with different techniques, and what we found was the border collie presenting to the geese had a more of an impact to kick in that predator versus prey instinct and forces them off the property without having to put a repellent down or to just do nest management alone. If the goose is injured, of course, we'll walk it off the property and not let the dog come in contact with it. But that dog, in conjunction with the management program of the nest itself, is greatly effective.
So these basically push these geese off into some other area.
That's the whole intent. His natural instinct to flee the predator actually modifies his behavior to go somewhere else. If he can't feel comfortable raising his young here or feeding here or roosting overnight on a water source, then it teaches that goose through that behavior modification that, hey, I need to move somewhere else where I feel safe, where I can feed and loaf and raise my young.
Maybe talk a little bit about how these dogs are trained, because it's incredible to watch them.
They are. The Border Collie itself is really effective because it has that stalking posture, and that comes from the herding industry or the herding concept of the dog. And it mimics those movements of that coyote, that fox, and the wolf. You'll notice they get really low to the ground. They start gazing at them. They lower the head to the ground because they're trying to hide as they approach that animal. And the geese see that Border Collie as that type of predator, so it just triggers that response.
Why are there so many here?
Well, when you have bodies of water, it's a safe haven. It's in a fence. You have about 2 large bodies of water. There's a retention pond over here and there's another one in the back. Great manicured lawns, so they're grazers. They eat fresh grass. They'll go in, they can feed. Then once they have their young, you got flower beds and things of that nature, then they can just move off to the water and raise their young, because they want water because they can't fly once they molt. So it's a safe place. And in any wildlife program, you're trying to strike a balance where that wildlife is on the property for the benefit of the wildlife and whomever, and also it's keeping the property safe for the people that either work there or reside there. Some people get upset, which understandably, that you're taking the nest from that goose, but if they keep in mind, the idea is geese will nest twice. So you may be taking that nest, but the idea is to push those geese to a safer place where their conflict with humans is not going to cause that safety hazard.
Geese are migrating birds, but these seem to be with us all year long.
Yes, sir. There's not as many predators as they are in the wilder areas, so they feel safer here, and they've learned over time that, hey, if I don't migrate or I don't leave this area, I'm safe, more safe than I would be out in these other areas. Also, these geese are instinctively come back to where they were raised. So they're mostly non-migrators. Now, you may have a few migrate in annually, but for the majority in these urban environments, we have these non-migratory birds, and they stay here. In Kentucky's climate, it's really conducive to it because they have to have that water. Very rarely do we have our water sources freeze over. So they feel safe here. They know if it does freeze, they'll just go to a bigger body of water and come back.
We really appreciate what you and the dogs have been able to do here. I know there's a lot of people that don't like coming out of work every day and being harassed by the geese. So thank you for what you've been doing.
It's our pleasure, and we enjoy talking to the people as we see the dog out and about, and we enjoy it. We try to say, let him do his job first, and then if you want to pet the dog, just ask, and we'll let him come play with him. Maggie, the other dog, she's a socialite, I think. Once the geese are gone, she's going to come say hi no matter what. So
thanks everybody, and hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. Everybody take care.